The crime didn't begin with screams. It began with silence. According to investigators, the night everything changed looked painfully ordinary from the outside. No alarms. No neighbors calling police. No chaos. Just one girl, and one decision. Jessica Gutierrez was not alone that night, but she was the only one who seemed completely calm. Mantelpiece clocked the timeline. Phone records later showed something strange. Messages deleted. Location services turned off. A short window of time where Jessica's digital footprint disappeared completely. That window would later become the focus of the entire investigation. Authorities believe this was not an accident. This was planning. Puzzle piece inside the room. What happened inside that room is still debated. But the evidence told a chilling story. There were no signs of a struggle. No forced entry. No defensive wounds. Which meant one thing. Whoever was involved, was trusted. Witnesses later said Jessica had been seen earlier that day acting normal, even cheerful. She went about her routine as if nothing unusual was about to happen. That detail disturbed investigators the most. The crime didn't begin with screams. It began with silence. According to investigators, the night everything changed looked painfully ordinary from the outside. No alarms. No neighbors calling police. No chaos. Just one girl, and one decision. Jessica Gutierrez was not alone that night, but she was the only one who seemed completely calm. Mantelpiece clocked the timeline. Phone records later showed something strange. Messages deleted. Location services turned off. A short window of time where Jessica's digital footprint disappeared completely. That window would later become the focus of the entire investigation. Authorities believe this was not an accident. This was planning. Puzzle piece inside the room. What happened inside that room is still debated. But the evidence told a chilling story. There were no signs of a struggle. No forced entry. No defensive wounds. Which meant one thing. Whoever was involved, was trusted. Witnesses later said Jessica had been seen earlier that day acting normal, even cheerful. She went about her routine as if nothing unusual was about to happen. That detail disturbed investigators the most. A cold reaction. When questioned days later, Jessica's behavior raised immediate red flags. No tears. No shock. No confusion. Instead, she asked one question. What proof do you actually have? That wasn't the question of an innocent girl. That was the question of someone calculating. Mobile phone digital clues. Forensic analysts recovered fragments of deleted data. Search history. Messages. Late-night notes written in coded language. Phrases like control without chaos. Silence is safer. No witnesses means no story. Each line painted a darker picture. Jessica wasn't acting on impulse. She was observing. Learning. Waiting. Police car light. The investigation tightens. Police now believe this wasn't a crime of passion. It was methodical. And slowly, the focus shifted. From what happened. To who benefited. All roads began to point back to one name. Jessica Gutierrez. The interrogation room was quiet. Too quiet. Jessica Gutierrez sat across from detectives with her hands folded neatly in her lap. Her posture was perfect. Her face blank. This wasn't fear. This was control. Chair the interrogation. Detectives started slow. Friendly. Casual. They asked about her childhood. Her friends. Her routine. Jessica answered everything, calmly, precisely. Too precisely. When investigators mentioned the night of the incident, something changed. Not panic. A pause. Just 2 seconds. But in criminal psychology, 2 seconds can mean everything. Brain psychological profile. Experts later described Jessica as highly intelligent, emotionally detached, obsessive with control, lacking visible empathy. She didn't deny the events. She reframed them. Instead of what happened, she focused on how people misunderstood it. That tactic is common among individuals who believe they are smarter than the system. Magnifying glass tilted left a slip of the tongue. Then it happened. While correcting a detective's timeline, Jessica mentioned a detail that had never been released to the public. The room went silent. Detectives exchanged looks. Jessica realized it instantly. Her eyes widened, just for a moment. That moment would later be described as the crack in the mask. File folder. The evidence stacks up. Investigators now had digital inconsistencies, timeline contradictions, behavioral red flags, and one unexplainable piece of insider knowledge. They pressed harder. Jessica pushed back, calmly. "You're assuming intention where there was none." But the confidence was fading. Balance scale from witness to suspect. By the end of the interrogation, the tone had shifted. Jessica was no longer being asked for help. She was being analyzed. Every word. Every pause. Every breath. And deep down, she knew it. The news broke quietly at first. A short headline. A blurred photo. One name. Jessica Gutierrez. Within hours, it was everywhere. Television media storm. True crime channels picked it up instantly. Comment sections exploded. "She doesn't look dangerous. There's no way she did this. She looks innocent." That's what shocked people the most. Jessica didn't fit the image they had in their heads. No rage-filled mugshot. No emotional breakdown. Just a calm face, staring into the camera. Oncoming police car. The arrest. When authorities finally moved in, there was no resistance. Jessica opened the door herself. She didn't ask why. She asked, "Is this necessary?" That single question became viral. To investigators, it confirmed something critical. She still believed she was in control. Puzzle piece what the public didn't see. Behind the scenes, the case was tightening. Digital experts reconstructed deleted timelines. Psychologists compared her interrogation footage frame by frame. Patterns emerged. Emotional detachment under pressure. Language that minimized consequences. Repeated attempts to redirect blame. This wasn't panic. This was strategy. Brain the narrative war. Jessica's legal team pushed one message. She is being misunderstood. They painted her as intelligent but awkward. Emotionally reserved. A victim of online obsession. But prosecutors saw something else. They saw intent hidden behind calm. Public perception shifts. As more details surfaced, support began to crack. The same people who defended her now asked, why did she know that detail? Why delete everything? Why no emotion at all? The story flipped. From sweet girl to chilling mystery. Locked waiting for the final answer. Jessica sat in custody as the world argued about who she really was. Monster? Mastermind? Or something far more unsettling? Someone who never felt guilty at all. The courtroom was packed. Cameras. Journalists. Strangers trying to understand a girl they thought they knew. Jessica Gutierrez sat quietly beside her legal team. No tears. No fear. Just the same calm expression the world had seen from the beginning. Balance scale the trial. Prosecutors laid everything out. Digital timelines reconstructed from deleted data. Behavioral analysis from experts. Contradictions in Jessica's own statements. The moment she revealed information she shouldn't have known. Piece by piece, the image of innocence collapsed. The defense argued one thing again and again. Suspicion is not proof. But the jury saw something else. A pattern. Brain the final assessment. Psychologists testified that Jessica showed traits of emotional detachment, manipulative intelligence, lack of remorse, high need for control. One expert said something that silenced the room. She doesn't feel guilt the way most people do. She feels interrupted. That line went viral overnight. Hammer the verdict. After days of deliberation, the jury returned. Guilty. The courtroom waited for a reaction. There was none. Jessica didn't cry. Didn't speak. Didn't look back. She simply nodded, as if confirming something she already knew. Locked aftermath. Today, Jessica Gutierrez lives away from cameras, but not from attention. True crime communities still debate her case. Some believe she was a mastermind. Others think she was something worse. Someone who never felt anything at all. The question that never dies. Before being taken away, Jessica was asked one final question by a reporter. Do you regret what happened? She paused. 2 seconds. And replied. Regret requires emotion. Repeat button loop ending, perfect for YouTube. The story ends where it began. With a calm face. A quiet voice. And a chilling thought. How many people like Jessica do we walk past every day? Without ever knowing?